Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you again. Well, this is an update to the video that went trending today, which has to do with Fani Kayode blasting Daily Trust journalists. We've already brought you a story about what the guy had to say, that he was further being threatened by the security aid of um, FFK, and that FFK even went further, demanding for a sack from his job. But guess what? The management of Media Trust Limited, publishers of Daily Trust, have finally responded, and they said if anything will happen to their journalists, that they will hold Femi Kayode responsible. And they are saying this to the hearing of the public. And Femi Kayode has also responded. We are going to be looking at all of this in a jiffy. According to the Newsday, management and media of Media Trust Limited, publisher of Daily Trust and other title, condemn the repressible action of Femi Fani Kayode, who in a video clip now gone viral, verbally assaulted repeatedly our reporter, Ayo Charles, in the course of doing his job. The encounter occurred in Calabar, Cross River State in the morning of Thursday, 20th August 2020 at a hotel during a roundtable with invited journalists. During the roundtable, Charles asked Femi Fani Kayode, who was bankrolling his recent trip around Nigeria, to which the ex-minister responded with a raised voice, insult, and eventually a threat to inflict bodily harm on our reporter. The barrage continued for some minutes while bewildered journalists, including our reporter, look on. The video clip, also released on one of the ex-minister's social media accounts, was conveniently edited to exclude the question asked by Charles, totally devoid of mischief, simply sought clarification and information like good journalism should. Said editing paved the way for a social media lynch mob to rain expletives on our reporter, labeling him as rude. This could not be further away from the truth, and we stand by Charles and commend him for his calmness during the ordeal. Daily Trust reporters are responsible professionals who uphold the tenets of journalism as well as best practices. That Femi Fani Kayode attacked a reporter doing his job is an indication of the chilling disregard he has towards the media and its work in investigating and reporting on issues. As always, we stand in solidarity with our reporters and will continue to fight for the right of all journalists. After all, journalism is part of the bedrock of democracy. Therefore, practitioners must not be intimidated or threatened as they carry out their job. We urge the Nigerian police to take note that if anything happened to Charles, Daily Trust will hold Femi Fani Kayode responsible, especially due to the intensity of the verbal threat he issued during the shocking incident. The actions of Femi Fani Kayode are not only reprehensible, but also constitute a setback to press freedom in a most dire form. The kind of assault raises major concern over the safety of journalists in Nigeria. Daily Trust is a completely independent media organization that does not pander to the whims of any individual or group, no matter how powerful or well placed in society. We will continue to serve Nigerians and indeed the world with quality, reliable reportage, no matter whose ox is gore. Signed by the Executive Director stroke Editor in Chief, Maikalu Abubakar. And Femi Fani Kayode in his Twitter page has also opened up, responding to all that he has seen thus far. And according to him, he said he's not going to carry out any form of apology. Let me just read what he wrote. He said, during my tour of the South and after a long and successful press conference in Calabar, Cross River State, a journalist put up his hand for the last time and said, well, we do not know who is bankrolling you. This is not a question but an assertion and an insult. And if this insulting assertion were made before Trump or OBJ, I know how they would have reacted. Are you Trump? Are you OBJ? Above is my response, and I have no apology to offer for it. The young man apologized to me during the press conference and sent his apologies to me after the conference. I have accepted his apologies and move on. I have always had regard for journalists and always will. Those of them that know me or work with or for me over the last 30 years can attest to that. However, there is a distinction between asking a question and offering an insult. This is all the more so when it is clear that the assertion was sponsored and engineered by my political enemies who wanted to use the young man to insult and embarrass me and question my integrity. Well, they got more than they bargained for. I repeat, this was not a question, but an assertion and an gratuitous insult, and I will not accept that from any man born of a woman. Appendum, he went further again to speak. He said, permit me to add the following. I have taken note of the report by Daily Trust on the incident. The content is false. I didn't send any of my security men to threaten their reporter. I only reprimanded him for a premeditated plan to embarrass him, and he apologized. Thereafter, that was all. This is not a battle between me and the esteemed Nigerian journalists who respect the ethics of the noble profession. I have always been and will always be a friend to journalists and a champion of freedom of speech. What I will not accept are brazen insults from an individual in the name of journalism. The assertion or assumption that I am being bankrolled by anyone is deeply insulting. Finally, to the NUJ, I say you have got me completely wrong. It would have been better if you had heard my own side of the story and established who was behind this whole incident and attempt to embarrass me, who paid for it, and how much they paid before going to press. Nevertheless, I still hold you in high esteem. Hmm. And there are a lot of responses coming from different quarters in this regard. This one said, I respect you so much before I watched this video. I watched this video more than 10 times, and I wouldn't want to disclose what I have in mind, but I am greatly disappointed. I heard FFK ask if the journalists know who he is. May I ask, who are you? Who are you that a journalist will not ask you any question? Are you God? This one said, I don't know why people are not seeing anything wrong in the journalist question. Omo, if you ask me that kind of question, I would charge it for I would change it for you, no cap. Was he assuming that FFK cannot afford to bankroll himself now? Waffle now. That's another person talking there. This one here says, Dear FFK, in your own words, you ask him, what kind of question is that? With this, you have established the fact that you understood his utterance as question and not assertion. He was in want of knowledge, in want of information. This is the same route you take when inquiring from the government of the day about their policies. When you call Bill Gates the gate of hell, was it an assertion or question? Good. Yes, people have started asking him questions because Femi Fani Kayode, let's be real, is not someone who play around whenever he's seeking for information. He goes straight and blasts people as if, oh God. Let me just reserve my comment. This one here says, one more thing, sir. Are you sure of this about Dangote? This is an assertion. Did Dangote flare up on hearing this? The guy now brought what he wrote about Dangote on the 28th of May. And what Femi Fani Kayode wrote about Dangote was, why do Dangote truck kill more people in a month in Nigeria than COVID-19 and malaria? And how come they get away with it? Why are they smuggling thousands of Almajiris, ISWA, and Boko Haram fighters and Fulani herdsmen into the south every day? What is Alingo Dangote up to? Now, you can imagine who this guy is. That's why it's getting everybody really, really pissed with this nonsense that that nonsense he did with that journalist. But however, I don't want to go further because I know you have a lot to ask, a lot to say. Just go to